Hey guys, Shadylikeatree here, and welcome into my Sniper Elite 3 review. I played this on the PlayStation 4, for those of you wondering. I have really three parts of my review. It's the first part here we're going to talk about is the things I really liked. The second part is things that could have been better. And then the third part is really things I disliked and things of that sort. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of get out in front. So for those of you who don't want to stick around for the full video, I'm going to say that I recommend this game to you if you are into stealthy missions where you have to really think critically, take your time, and do things in a certain order, or at least feel like you have to do things in a certain order as to whether or not that's true or not. Sniper Elite 3 is really a good game. It's a fun game. It's one man versus the world, that type of game. If that's your cup of tea, if that's how you like to play games, you versus the world, even when it seems like realism may have to be put on hold a little bit, then certainly I think, you know, this is the game for you. Some of the things that I really like about this game is I do really like bullet time. I've liked it since it debuted in Sniper Elite 2. I think that's a really cool feature. But you know, I think that, and I'll talk about this more later, it could be a little bit better than it actually is in this game. I do like the advanced physics, so you can kind of customize the game to as you see fit with the enemy skill, your skill required, and kind of sort of how to make your shots count. Another thing I liked was the kind of episodic mission format of this game. There are, I do believe, 7 or 8 missions in total. And you can do those, and they take anywhere from, you know, a half an hour on up to an hour and a half, depending on how methodical and how slow you are, or how kind of loose and non-methodical you are. I would say that the entire Let's Play took me about 9 hours. I was playing on Marksman, which is the second to lowest difficulty. It provides you with aids, but all of the sniper mechanics, such as bullet drop, muzzle velocity, etc., maximum distance, do take effect, but you are aided with a little red reticle, as you will see throughout my playthrough, of where to put your shot and how to best aim. So using that, it makes it very easy to snipe, but enemies are also very deadly. In 2 or 3 shots you die. Some of the other things I do like, I think this game is probably the best game visually in the franchise. Very much showed off next-gen graphics, as you can see here. You can kind of see the particles, and you can see all the stuff kind of whizzing by you, and all of the different kind of layers to the game when I try to make that shot. Bullet time, as you can say, is just, it's as good as it is before, although some of the mechanics are a little broken, and I'll get into that later. Another thing that's really well done in this game is the variety of missions. Some missions are Overwatch missions, some missions, as I said, are you against the world, and some missions are, you know, you have a teammate, you have a spotter. So there's really a kind of a nice, not 2 missions felt the same, although they were at their core really, you know, you just kill some people, sneak around, kill some more people, sneak around some more, and then you try to kill a high-value target of some sort, whether that be snipers on the opposing ridgeline, a tank, or, you know, the bad guys. Another cool thing is the stealth kills were all pretty cool, except for I completely almost failed there, but I managed to take that guy out. And you know, the stealth kills are really cool, really fulfilling, and really satisfying. I also do like kind of the awards and trophy system, where as you move along and you do more things in the game, and with each additional playthrough you can kind of work at becoming, you know, an elite sniper. Moving on now to the things that I didn't necessarily think were the best or worked as well as I would have liked. Top of the list is bullet cam, or the X-ray kill cams, I should say. A lot of them worked great, and I had a lot of really cool shots, as you guys can see, as you guys will see from my Let's Play as I do the full game playthrough. But a lot of it just didn't work, where the camera took the wrong angle on the shot, so you missed majority of just the destruction. You know, and on a front and a left side wound, it might show from the back, where yes, you can see the exit wound, but you can't see the front and side wound, which is kind of the money shot and the best shot of all. So I feel like the X-ray kill cams could have been better in that aspect, that, you know, they could have had maybe better angles on a majority of them, but I think enough of them worked just fine that it's still fulfilling when you shoot someone in the heart or the lungs, or in a few cases on my end, the cojones, and you watch things explode on the inside. Because that's always really cool, and that's one of the reasons why I bought this game and why it's so appealing. Some of the things that I thought could have looked a little bit better is there's not really a whole lot of development of the bad guy. You know, there's some development, you know, but not a lot. You don't find out about him until the fourth mission, and then you try to go after him in the last mission. But I would have liked a little bit more development of the bad guy, because with Hitler you don't really have to say how bad he is, but the bad guy is not Hitler in this game. So that's something that I think could have had a little bit more development. The story could have been written a little bit better, I think. I just have a few nitpicks with, you know, it seems like, you know, his entire thing was one man against the world, when in all actuality, I think if you're really a general kind of putting these on, you give him more support. I mean, you don't want a single man going into a place. That rarely happens and rarely works out well. I'm sure that it happens more often than I believe, but at the same time, this is World War II Africa, and I can't believe for a minute that a general expects one guy to go out and do this. But maybe it's just a suspension of disbelief for some people, or maybe I'm overthinking it, I don't know. But that just bothered me a little bit, that some of these missions should have had more support. And I know I talked a little bit about variety earlier on in the video, but one of the things that I really would have liked to have had more was just, you know, was more different types of missions. It seemed like there was rarely a mission where I was in the same place just picking off people who had no idea where I am. And I feel like that's a key part of sniping in modern day society, especially when it comes to the wars in the Middle East that we have fought in recent years. And I think that, you know, that kind of hidden, no one knows really where I am, my shots are not only masked, but I'm not seen, different than it has been in the past. And I would have liked to maybe had a mission like that, where I could have just stayed up top and just sniped all my heart out. And there's a mission that's kind of like that, but it's really a tiny part of the level, and I would have liked to have had a lot more. And I guess I'll follow up the third part of my review here with saying that there are some things that are absolutely just broken about this game. And to me, it's the stealth system and it's the alert system. You know, you have to basically crouch and sneak around the whole game to be able to do anything. And to me, that just doesn't seem realistic. I don't foresee a guy spending, you know, 3-4 hours per mission in real life sneaking around on his knees like this. I just don't see that happening. And also, it just takes away from the gameplay, because in order to get places you can run, yes, but you're going to cause noise and people are going to hear you, and it throws off their patterns, it throws off their timing, and it throws off just so much. And I feel like in a war, people aren't going to be paying that close of attention to footsteps, especially when there's other people roaming around and things like that. You know, they can think, oh, hey, that's coming from over there, and that's just, you know, that's Hans who's you know, doing whatever it is he's supposed to be doing. But I just feel like, you know, I had to sneak around too much. Like, there's a point where stealth and sniping is a part of it, but at the end of the day, it's like it was just too much crouching and walking. It was too much sneaking around, and there wasn't just enough, you know, oh, hey, here's this really long shot, go pick off this guy on the ridgeline. He's got our guys pinned down. There wasn't enough of that, and I would have liked more of that. And then my next real complaint is, once you do fire, it seems like almost all the time that you had to you had to always constantly relocate after you fired a shot, and I didn't particularly like that. You know, you had to constantly do that, and when you did, you could just backtrack to where you've already cleared, and you'd be okay. And that was something that bothered me too about the game, was that, you know, it was so easy to kind of break that mechanic that I don't really think it worked. And people were so and the enemies are so overly sensitive to your whereabouts. It was unrealistic to me. You know, you can fire a shot from one place, and then, you know, you can get the all clear, and they're still kind of looking for you. Well, if they don't find you in an area, they're going to continue to look for you. I agree, but they're not going to continue to kind of just hang out in that one spot and just kind of stand there while they wait for you to kind of pop back over and try to kill them again. To me, just the logic of the hiding and finding system was just so utterly beyond broken that it really took away from my experience, and I would really like to give this game high regard in that aspect, but I can't. So I guess in conclusion, at the end of the day, if you really like a stealthy game where, you know, it's you versus the world, and and you're responsible completely for your actions, and you have to really kind of almost chess-like think ahead of the enemy and think ahead of the computer, then this is probably a game for you. If you're like me and you just want a long corridor where you can snipe people from a far distance and watch their innards explode, then this game is probably not for you, at least not right now. Maybe when the price drops you might like it more. So I hope you guys have certainly enjoyed my review of Sniper Elite 3. If you have any questions in the comments, please let me know, and I will do my best to answer them. Take care, and I'll see you next time.